What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nightly Painting Studio. My name's Corbin, and if we haven't met yet, it is nice to meet you. This stream is all about encouraging, equipping, and inspiring you to be the best hobbyist that you can be. So that's my goal, to give tips, tricks, any kind of helpful things. Tonight's going to be a Q&A as well, so you'll be hearing live questions coming from the chat that I'm gonna do my best to answer. Hopefully can give you guys and gals some great info on hobby stuff while I hang out and paint. So I know Sunday nights can be a little hit or miss just depending on how people's weeks are, but excited to see y'all in the chat throughout the live stream tonight. For everybody who's been checking up on me, thank you. We did survive the hurricane, which was great. I live in Ocala, Florida, and we were kind of just on the very edge of this last one, so we ended up not losing power or anything like that. So it was very fortunate. There's a lot of people who are not as fortunate, so thoughts and prayers go out to them. But yeah, if you're in the chat or if you're watching this live with me, go ahead and pop into the chat and let me know where you're joining from and what you're working on. I will switch over here pretty quick to the desk view and start some painting, but I have been working on and I'm actually pretty close to finishing another unit of Tau breachers from Games Workshop, and so those have been fun. I've got pretty much just the basing left to do on those guys, so that's not really something I can do tonight, so I'm probably going to work on some Crute that I've got another 10 Crute hanging out on the desk over here that need some skin tones done, so I'm probably going to start working on those as I go through the stream tonight. So yeah, hey, what's up, Phlogiston? Good to see ya. I'm alive. Made it through the storm. Still painting. All right, I'm gonna pop over to the main camera here, and we'll go from there. Oh, hey, that doesn't look right. Boom. Don't you love it when technology don't work right? There we go. I think we're good. All right. So I have made some progress on the breachers. Let's see if I can't shed a little more light and get a little closer here. Yeah, made some good progress, got some OSL done, got a lot of the armor weathering done on these, like the chipping and all that kind of stuff. So if I can get it to focus on the right spot. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. So, yeah, the OSL effects were really fun to do. I did those on the airbrush and haven't found a good way to get into the airbrush booth while streaming yet, so I'll have to figure out a good way to mic that up so that y'all aren't just hearing the whole time. These were actually more fun than I expected them to be. as far as drones go. I was kind of dreading doing these, especially since they're pretty much tokens now. But I liked how the OSL effects came out, and I think that really did it for me. That and the weathering and the gray bit right here, tying that in really solidified it for me. So, yep. So yeah, those are the breachers. Really just executing, trying to make sure that all the different elements are good and got the golds going and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these are fun minis. I really enjoy painting the Breacher Fire Warrior models. They're really great minis. I definitely like the Breachers better than the Fire Warriors. The helmets and the shoulder pads are what really do it for me. So, but yeah, I got a bunch of Kroots, just sitting on the table over here, itching for some paint. So I think I'm gonna put some skin tones down on these guys just to highlight them up. And just start working on little details across the minis. Yeah, should be good. All right, let's see what I got going on here. This guy already has his skin tone highlights. I don't think that guy doesn't. Phlogiston, what are you working on tonight? What kind of stuff are you printing? Crazy how much larger these Kroot are than the Tau minis. Till you get them like side by side, especially the new miniatures, like they're a whole heck of a lot bigger. Honestly, much taller than I expected. So let's see. I don't know, the quills and stuff have been done on these guys either. So that'll be another thing to tackle. Okay. Starting to identify what I've got to work on. Alright, mini drones, says Phlogiston. 50% the size of regular ones. It fits lore-wise. Kroot are tall and skinny. Tau aren't very big compared to humans. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Definitely fits lore-wise. I thought it was funny. Because the old ones, like you can see, this is one of the OG Kroot bodies, and I just take a standing Tau. Like they're not that much taller, but then you take one of the new ones, and the size difference is pretty significant. So I really do think they elongated the legs quite a bit on minis, which I think the proportions look a lot better. But okay. Forest, flesh. Okay, so basically just going to be using some combinations of these colors for creating the highlights for the skin tones on these Kroot. So some of them are a little more pale, some of them are a little more green. It just depends on the Kroot. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get all these on the palette. Justin, when are you gonna try out that new airbrush? Sling some paint. Block some time for it. Yeah, nice. Yeah, getting those orders done will, I'm sure, be really helpful. So. Okay, so basically down here on the palette, I have the Lauren Forest right here. We're gonna pull some of that, and we're gonna pull some Rakarth. We're gonna really create a nice little mid-tone there. I'm gonna pull a little bit of this into it, just to kind of give it a little more of that greenish vibe back. And yeah, we're going to go from there. I think this skin tone is going to work really well on this tone of Kroot here. Kind of almost like stippling the highlight across. If that helps or not. I feel like the autofocus is being pretty wonky on this tonight. that belly a little bit. Hey, what's going on? Watery Shark, I think that's how you say your name. Welcome to the stream. Yes, I do. I currently collect Black Templars, and I'm working on some Tau here, as you can see. I also have Necrons. So, and I've had many other armies over the years, so that I've traded, bought, sold. What about you? Tyranids. Tyranids are super cool. I've always been curious to paint some. I have never wanted to collect them as an army just because I'm not the fastest painter, and that's a lot of minis to get through. But I know a lot of people love the Horde style armies, and I think they can look really, really cool on the table. So I'm a big fan of the Tyranids. I think they're one of the more unique races in 40k as well. So yeah, big fan, but haven't ever really collected the Tyranids. I think they're also one of the more realistically scary factions. In 40k. Are you thinking about collecting Tyranids? How do you get better at painting? Lots of practice and just learning some really basic techniques. Yeah. Are you just starting out, or have you been a part of the hobby painting for a while? Kind of did Thousand Suns. Okay, yeah. Thousand Suns can be pretty tough, especially if that was your first army to try and tackle. There's a lot of armor trim and subtle details on the Thousand Suns, so. Do you have something in particular that you're wanting to get better at as far as painting goes? I think the thing that I see a lot of people really struggle with is thinning their paints correctly, and that's one thing that I definitely see quite a bit. Control the brush, yeah. So I think, finding a brush with a sharp tip on it is really important. So at least getting like one or two kind of nicer brushes. This is an Artist Opus. I've been using a Winsor & Newton, which is a little cheaper than that, but it's still really nice. Yeah, even some of like Army Painter, Citadel brushes can be really great, and take you really far. But yeah, it's all kind of just dependent on your preference and how much you have to spend on those types of brushes. I also think that just like I said, learning how to thin the paint as well is really important. And I can go over a couple of quick tips for stuff like that here in just a minute, but yeah, you're just going to want to try and be as careful around the details as you can be with your brush, and when the paint is thin enough, it will flow right off the brush onto the mini without too much trouble. So I think that's another thing that has really helped me. So yeah, so I love my airbrush. I use it for every mini that I paint. I would definitely recommend it if you have the space for it, and you're willing to take a little time to learn it. It's a tool just like anything else, and it's not going to be perfect for every application. Like, you won't do the entire miniature with an airbrush, so you will still need to learn the brush control. But yeah, I do pretty much all of my base coating and priming with an airbrush, and highly recommend people use one, especially for an army like Tyranids. You are probably going to want an airbrush just to speed things up a little bit, because painting all the base coats on that army might drive you insane a little bit, just depending on how much you actually enjoy and like painting. But yeah, I can recommend the ones that I have and ones that I know are really good. I know honestly, there's a ton of different airbrush brands out there. I just have a Badger 105 Patriot, and I have used it. I've been using it since 2017, and the most I've ever had to do with it is change the needle, because I bent it on accident. So that's really the most I've ever had to do. I haven't ever had to make a repair or anything like that. The Badger Patriot 105, it's a good workhorse. It's a great first airbrush. It is pretty forgiving for beginners. So yeah, I'll pull it out here in just a second and show it to you. But you will need the airbrush. You will need a compressor, and I would recommend a compressor with a tank. Those are gonna give you more working time with air and make it not fill up as much. Honestly, I have had a I've had a Zini compressor that I got off of Amazon for like 70-80 bucks back in 2017. I've had that thing for since then, and it just now kind of failed on me recently, but that's because I live in Florida, and I did not do my due diligence in taking care of it and remove the water from the tank, and it rusted from the inside. So it still works, still puts air through, but it's not as effective as it used to be. So Watery Shark, I'm gonna put the link to our Discord down in the chat here, and if you jump on there and message me, I can send you links to all the stuff that I have, if that would be helpful to you. So this is the Badger Patriot 105. It's very simple. It has a really nice large cup on it. It has a dual action trigger, which means you can push down and pull back on it, and that's really what you're looking for in an airbrush. What you're going to do is you're going to push down to begin to release the air, and then you'll gently pull back to start to release the paint. So basically, when you start to airbrush, you're going to want to start releasing the air first, and then slowly open it up in either short bursts, or you'll want to kind of go back over the model like this. So I got this one on a deal. I don't know if they still run them or if it was a special at the time, but I got this for 55 bucks. Like I said, all I've ever had to do was replace the needle, and honestly, it cleans out pretty easy. You just unscrew that, pull the needle out, and you can. It's like I said, the cup's really big, so you can really get down in there and clean it pretty easy. All the parts come out pretty simply. Badger's been around for a while, and I have really enjoyed this one. I do have a Sotar, a Badger Sotar 2020 as well, and honestly it clogs up a lot on me. I think it's because the needle is so small. That'd be precise enough to do the armor on Tyranids. So the way I would tackle the Tyranids is I would get whatever your main color is going to be, whether you choose that to be the skin or the armor plates. I would do whatever the main color would be with the airbrush, and then I would come back in with the brush and do the other part. So if you wanted, I would say whichever color is lighter, so like closer to white, or if you are doing like a skin tone for them that's on the brighter side, I would do that with your airbrush, and then I'd come back in and do the darker paints on your carapace armor sections. You can, it's not going to be as precise, and you're going to have cleanup that you have to do with an airbrush. And I think, yeah, you're probably going to want to tackle one or the other with your airbrush, just like on these crude, right? So, or actually, these Tau are probably a better example. So, with the Tau, I came in and I shot the red through the airbrush, and I had the heads removed so I could do those white. But I did all the red armor through the airbrush, and then I came back in and painted everything else black, because that's a lot easier to do. So, yeah, that's my recommendation for Tyranids. You're gonna have to use a brush, but I will say, like, so even with these, I sniped in the OSL on these lights with this airbrush with a 0.4 needle or 0.5 needle, so which is pretty big. So if you practice with it and you get good with the tool, you could do a lot. You really can do a lot. So that's my encouragement. But like I said, I would, get on the Discord. I can definitely chat with you more about what products to use, and help answer any questions, or even walk you through using it, or help you figure out your color scheme, whatever. However I can help you, Watery Shark, I'd love to do that. So. Yeah, airbrushing is awesome. I personally really love the way that airbrushing makes miniatures look. I don't use it for everything, but I use it for a lot. So. Awesome. Yeah, I hope to see you over on the Discord, and thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. Nice to meet you. So I pulled in a little more of the yellow, and we're going to see if that actually shows up a little better on this particular skin tone here. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the airbrush is really just another tool in your tool belt. It isn't like some magic skill or hack. It's another way to get things done, and a lot of times it's a way to get them done quicker. Does require a bit of skill to use. I remember I would get my airbrush clogged like all the time when I first started using it. I had no idea how to thin the paint for it. say this is probably my least favorite part of doing these crew models. I enjoyed airbrushing the skin. I'm not enjoying coming back and highlighting the skin again. I think if I was doing these again, I probably would have just stuck with the same skin tone across all of them. That way I had the same highlight across all of them and wasn't having to try and mix based on the different skin tones. Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference between the OG Crute model here and the newer sculpts for sure. This Crute has one of the original, like, early, I guess it was early 2000s when they came out. That's how it first came to Warhammer. I believe they were hand sculpted at the time. So here you can actually see 4 different skin tones. These two are pretty similar, but so just trying to figure out how to highlight those is pretty challenging. So would not recommend necessarily, unless you're writing everything down, taking really detailed notes, and making sure you know which one is which. Definitely go in well planned if you're gonna alter the skin tones in the same unit. So that's what I would tell you. I'm forcing myself to get through these 2 units before I start on the battle suits. Because I know I'm gonna have a really good time painting these. All posed, kind of flying off rocks. So excited about those. Okay, I'm gonna switch back over to the main camera here. I'll be right back. Okay, well, hey, thanks for joining tonight. I'm gonna hit stop there tonight. Gotta get up for work in the morning, but it was fun hanging out with everybody tonight. Justin, thanks for popping in the chat. Watery Shark, definitely great meeting you. Hope to see you over on the Discord. And yeah, this was good. Got some crude skin tones done and talked through some airbrush process, what I use personally. So yeah, productive stream, very productive stream. So hopefully on the next stream I will be able to go ahead and finish up these breachers and continue to work on these Kroot. I've been doing my best to stream 3 times a week, so that's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So generally around the, I guess like 9:45, 10 o'clock range Eastern Standard Time. So would love to have you join us for the next one. And if you haven't already, too short. You still have work to do. I'm sorry, Phlogiston. Yeah, some nights I can stay up a little longer, but I worked from, yes, it was 6:15 this morning until about 8 p.m. tonight. So pretty much straight. So I'm tired. But yeah, good luck with all of your printing tonight, Phlogiston. And yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday with another stream. If you have questions, you can go ahead and throw those in the Discord. is the Discord link there for anybody that is watching and interested. It is also on the YouTube homepage. You can find that link on there, and that will take you to our Discord. So would love for you to join an encouraging hobby community. There's painting on there, not as much of the gaming type of stuff yet, but mostly painting, and then really Phlogiston's leading the way with 3D printing on the Discord. But it's a really positive hobby community where you can learn and grow, and people are willing to share. So yeah, would love to have you join that, and would love to answer any questions you might have over there, or you can save them up and join the next live and ask me live here on YouTube. So thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Keep painting every night, and yeah, be encouraged. You're doing a great job, and excited to see all of the stuff that you are going to paint. So hey, have a great night, and I will see you on the next stream.